Hey guys, it's Marion from Attire and Beyond in Highland, New York. We are a clothing store and we also sell gifts, knickknacks, trinkets, treasures, and there's some that's brand new, lots of it, and then some that's pre-loved. So we sell clothes like you'd see in the department store and we sell thrift. It's all great. All right, so today, again, we're reading Anyone Can Live a Happier Life. And today I'm going to read the chapter. I'm going to just say chapters, or I think we may still be in attitude. That's every experience is a learning experience. And I truly believe this, and people think I'm crazy, but I've learned that every experience is a learning experience. I've seen it. So here we go. What would you do if you truly understood every experience, whether it was good or bad, was a learning experience? Would you feel better as things were happening? I feel better just knowing each time something good or bad happens, I will eventually know the learning lesson and get stronger and grow from it. Ain't that the truth? So, we'll talk about many different events, experiences, and circumstances, since it always seems to tie into the way we think and our attitude towards life and others. I want to try to be more straight here, so excuse me. I think it is important that I share some of my life experiences and how I learned from them over the years. Will they be relevant to your life? Maybe, maybe not. They are all the little things that added up and created the person who sits here writing this today. And this is reading this today because that still applies. Sharing all the magical, fun, wonderful people, places, and things that came into my life because of them, the good and the bad. Also, sharing all of the loss, destruction, illusion, and disillusion to show you how every experience is a chance for growth and a better life. This chapter includes little tidbits of different times in my life. So it may seem as if it's skipping around, but it will all make sense in future chapters. Sometimes we don't realize how the little things we do and or do not do can change our lives, our journey, and our happiness. I lost my spot, so I'm not going to pretend I didn't. Here we go. Blah, 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 blah. So it may seem as if I'm skipping around. Sometimes we don't realize how the little things we do and or do not do can change our lives, our journey, and our happiness. How one thought or decision can alter everything. As you will read, I was born and raised near the city, abused as a child, brought up in a controlling, dysfunctional, depressed environment, and here I am, still standing, sitting right now. I was always the parent to my parents and always searching for love. I was depressed and moody as a child, rightfully so, and I didn't know how to change my destiny until I realized changing my thoughts can virtually change my reality. I did just that, and here I am today. I still do it daily. No joking. I hope you will embark on this journey with me and envision all the different experiences that sculpted and transformed my life, and others share their stories also. Your life may have been or be similar, but even if it wasn't or isn't, it all adds up to one thing. Change your thoughts, change your life. I hold great sentiment for the poem The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. I remember being 18 years old, ready to break off a relationship that wasn't serving me, and reading this poem. Google it if you so desire. It's all about how one decision can make a difference in your whole life. One thought, one decision, one road. Wow. The Bronx. I was born and raised in the Bronx, and damn proud of it. I started working for my dad at 9 years old. I was always expected to be very responsible as a child. What I didn't realize at the time was what happened to me previously, to what was supposed to be this innocent time, and was just sitting in my subconscious, waiting to explode at a later date. So let me read that a little less choppy. What I didn't realize at the time was what happened to me previously and was just sitting in my subconscious, waiting to explode at a later date. While growing up in New York with a family who did not have a lot of money, I learned a lot. Look, I had to take a deep sigh. I don't even know why, because I learned a lot. As I think back, though, we had a great deal more than others. Dad worked for an extremely low salary and never aspired to make or be more. Sorry, Daddy. He's not with us anymore. I made sure that I didn't write or finish this book until my parents were gone. He was a great photographer and could have made a huge success of himself and the business, but he did not have the drive or ambition. He also did not have a success attitude. His attitude was all about not having enough money and poverty. Of course, with that attitude, guess what he attracted? He attracted more poverty and more not having money or having enough. He constantly spoke of retirement, even when I was a child, and he was a young man. My parents had me when they were 36 and 37. And I know for nowadays, no, nowadays it's back to being a good age. I can't wait to retire. I hate working. I heard over and over again. My mom was a stay-at-home mother. I love all stay-at-home mothers. Thank you for taking care of your children. I have absolutely nothing against it. I think it's great. Shopping on the half-price rack was as normal as waking up in the morning. I would go to the supermarket with her and we would see who could find the most bargains. It really was fun. See, that's how I got into reselling. I remember going to Nereid Bakery. Anyone who remembers Nereid Bakery from the Bronx, give me a woohoo! And one of the best in my part of the Bronx, besides A&M Bakery. If you were from that part of the Bronx, you are smiling right now. And getting half-priced baked goods. Still, till this day, I love one-day-old cannoli better than fresh ones. It is all I knew, soft shell cannoli, from the mouth-watering cream seeping into the shell overnight and making it soft instead of being freshly pumped in. I am getting into such detail about cannoli because it is my way of stressing to you that sometimes we get stuck. We are unaware there is a better way of life or have no inkling how to get there, even if we see others living life in a different way. It is okay to still love my stale cannoli, but what I refuse to do is follow beliefs and teachings from childhood. I know, let me just make sure I'm in the right spot. Teachings from childhood I now am fully aware no longer serve me. Food is food, and I can choose to like it stale or not. But life is precious, and I believe, unlike my day-old cannoli, it should be fresh, and each day should be new. I was wondering where I was getting at with that cannoli. I forgot. Now I have the choice on whether I want old cannoli or not, because I know the difference. Here I am on my weight loss plan, and I'm getting in the mood for cannoli. Sorry if I got you in the mood for cannoli. I have learned from each experience and changed a lot of beliefs put into my place by my parents, elders, and surroundings. This isn't to say I was purposely taught incorrectly. This is to say my parents did the best they could with what they knew and had at the time. I think parents do the best they can with what they know and have been taught throughout their own lives. In this day and age, with the internet, books, audios, and all of the wonderful courses and teachings, as a parent, it would be advantageous to continue to learn, grow, and improve, to set a good example for children. I know some of my friends do this. You're just constantly learning and growing. You never know everything. Years ago, it was a little different. A little? Who am I kidding? At age 9, while at Dad's photography studio, I learned to be a good business person. I started teaching my dad how to run the business more effectively and efficiently at the time. It's the truth. It's terrible. When you think about it, it's not terrible, but it's so weird that at that age, was teaching my dad, but it's because of how he learned. So I started teaching my dad how to run the business more effectively and efficiently at this time. He was great at his craft, but not at managing business, and I get that. For me, it came naturally because even at age 9, my thoughts were about success. I believe neither of my parents graduated high school, but they did teach me how to be a conscientious, responsible human being. Dad more than mom. I had to acquire a positive attitude on my own, and that took years. Most of the time, negativity and fear clouded over my childhood home, like the black clouds right before a storm. Oh, sorry, hair again. Aren't you glad that I'm just me? This was the beginning of me becoming a dependable, accountable, trustworthy, reliable human being. Yes, at age 9. Whew. Did I want to be working at this age? No. Was it great? Was it a great stepping stone? You bet. One that has helped me throughout my journey in life. I will share what my parents taught me throughout the years, whether it helped me to know what I should or should not do. I waited for my parents to pass to write this book. Oh, I just told you that. So I could be 100% honest. I will say it again. I firmly believe parents do the best they can with what they knew, and most importantly, how they were taught and how they learned. Now, of course, everything is not 100%. There may just be some really, really rotten parents out there, and they were brought up great. So, but for the most part, I think a lot of parents are doing the best that they can do. Over time, I went on to have numerous other jobs. At age 12, while still working at Dad's studio, I swept floors in a factory. Keep in mind, my parents did not have a lot of extra funds, so I loved making my own money to buy food. New shoes, which still I like making enough money to buy new shoes, but now I buy them cheaper. Even at that age, and clothes. I did not like my mom's cooking, so I also prepared my own meals at age 12. Sorry, Mom. Yuck. I didn't like very many things my mother cooked. I know people say she was an Italian mother. Yeah, I didn't even like her gravy at the time. I call it sauce now, but my dad taught me how imperative it was to be responsible and well-mannered. He was a true gentleman when it came to being polite. I believe it is very, very essential to respect others no matter who they are. Of course, I mean all who warrant respect. My first real job. I could not wait. On my 16th birthday, I went for my first interview and landed a job at the local supermarket. Any of you from Finest in the Bronx? Hi! I was constantly told I was one of the quickest cashiers. Kudos to my mom, who always told me at that point in my life I was the fastest, smartest, and most beautiful. Go figure. I wanted to have a career. My next stop was an office job. Do the best you can and be the best at what you do. Give 100%. Get me out of here. I was hired for the company where my dad worked. The majority of employees, old-timers, had a very distinctive business sense, attitude, and had their own rules apart from the younger generation or anyone at that point in time. I knew as a good person I should treat everyone the same in my work environment, men and women alike, from the janitor to the president. They would not allow men and women to eat in the same break room. Now I was 18, so this was in 1982. We were way past that. Oh, it says this was in 1982, I believe. Really? With all the other idiosyncrasies that drove me nuts, I chose to move on. Thank God. I did learn a lot from that job, both business related and how not to treat others in life. Another great experience. I do not regret anything in my life, as it is always a stepping stone to a bigger, better understanding. That does not mean I do not say, "What the F was I thinking?" every now and then, but I do not regret a single thing. Everything happens for a reason. Though I have come across many individuals who do not believe this, I do. It all happens for a reason. Everything. We may not see the good in it at all while it is happening, but there is always a learning lesson in every experience, positive or negative. We usually grow more from our negative experiences. Damn. As my friend Cynthia Farina, who has 2 stories in this book, says, it is always perfect. I was 19 and already had 2 good-paying jobs under my belt, so I was immediately hired as the manager in a retail store. This excited me because I felt I was moving up in the world already. I was doing well. I was very proud of myself, so just humor me. I was one of the few from my neighborhood who never tried drugs, thanks to my dad, and some of us made better lives for ourselves, and I was one of them. I did not keep in touch with many of the kids from my neighborhood, but I realized I needed to get out in order to live a better life. A lot of them did not. Some ended up in prison, drug, heroin addicts, alcoholics, or even worse, dead. I have to tell you, I still have at least one really good friend still from the Bronx who I talk to a lot. But very few of us where I was living changed their lives. And this may be different now. It is 7 years after I wrote this book, but this is from when I was a kid that I'm talking about. Okay. I continued to look for another office job. My sister was working in a real estate office at the time, and the accountants next door needed a secretary. I went in for an interview, and they were happy with me, my knowledge and skills. I got the job. Hooray! I really loved it. I liked my bosses and thoroughly enjoyed my work. Again, for my age, I was making a good salary and became much more skilled in an office environment. I was with the company around 4 years, and I believe I might have been there until the partners parted had I not become ill. Do not judge a book by its cover, except this one, of course. It says it all. Oh, I'm funny. Okay, do not judge a book by its cover, except this one, of course. Too funny. Now I lost my place because I find myself amusing. It says it all. Hee hee. That's what I wrote. Hee hee. For anyone who didn't know LOL at the time. This building is where I met my best friend. We worked for different employers. Back then, I idolized my sister and dressed in the same type of attire. Hey, I even put attire in there. See, that's what I call it. Attire and Beyond. She was my role model. I learned from her. She learned from my aunt. When going to work, my apparel consisted of suits or dressy pants and tops, pearls, necklaces, heels, and business attire. My friends, on the other hand, wore long denim skirts and flat shoes, country-like clothing, which I have absolutely nothing against. When all the girls in the building went out for lunch, my sister was swearing up a storm, and I said, "Stop it," as if my soon-to-be friend never heard a curse in her life. I judged a book by its cover. I thought the way she dressed portrayed the way she was. She later told me she thought I was a stuck-up bitch because of the way I dressed. Both were further from the truth. We ended up becoming best friends and still laugh about that. And we still do 7 years after the book. Do not judge. I do my very best not to anymore. Yes, I am human and need to keep myself in check every now and then, but I do catch myself, and that is what counts. I still catch myself, so I'm still doing well with that. Thank God, thank goodness, thank the goddess, thank anybody. Okay, that's it for today or for now. This was Marion from Attire and Beyond, reading Anyone Can Live a Happier Life. And those were a couple of different stories. And I'll get to you with another one soon. Please hit the subscribe button or the bell. Bye-bye.